there's three stools to the value of having a domain.
Okay, welcome back to the Marketing Playbook presented by Blue Core and Shopware. Here you'll take away 3 game-winning marketing plays every episode to take back to your team. I'm your host, Mark Friedman, and my career has been focused on direct-to-consumer marketing, direct mail, physical retail, and digital commerce. This is episode number 107, and my guest is Jonathan Packer. Jonathan got his career started working in the finance sector, establishing a strong financial acumen, and then he moved into his current role as a co-founder of G.O.A.T Foods, the owner of killer domain names like licorice.com and chocolate.com, and 8 others. They sell online through their own sites as well as Amazon, and they've quickly established themselves as a force in the snack and candy industry. It's a great story, so enjoy the show. Before we get started, a quick thank you, as always, to Max Brandstetter of the Wow Business Growth Podcast for producing this episode. You can reach him at max@maxpodcasting.com to help bring your podcast to life. Let's open the playbook. Ready, break. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the Marketing Playbook Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Jonathan Packer. Jonathan got his career started with 5 years at KPMG and has parlayed that into being the co-founder at G.O.A.T Foods. G.O.A.T Foods is a family-owned business created by multi-exit entrepreneurs in the snack and candy industry. The company's mission is to disrupt the massive, stale markets with elevated creative and easily shareable product experiences for individuals, groups, and personal and corporate gifting needs. The team aims to provide best-in-class products with premier packaging, using category killer domain names to dominate each category through a multi-channel approach. Jonathan lives in one of my favorite places, Boca Raton, Florida, and he enjoys time with his wife and 2 kids playing tennis and basketball. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
So, Boca Raton, Florida, no pickleball in the mix?
Keeping it young, playing tennis. I let the retired people play pickleball.
Well, they're paving over all the malls to put up pickleball courts, so you might want to get into that.
Big time, big time.
All right, so we start this show all the time, Jonathan, trying to give the listeners some perspective on your background, whether there was something in your upbringing that would have suggested that your career would have taken shape as it has.
Always knew that I would want to own my own business one day. Didn't think it would come as early as it did. I am in business with my wife's family, my father-in-law and my brother-in-law, my 2 partners. And they have a long history of entrepreneurial spirit in their blood. And with my family as well, where my family's in the sneaker business. We've had a family business that's been passed down to generation by generation for over 120 years. So that entrepreneurial spirit has been in my family as well. And, growing up, seeing my dad run that business, he took, similar approach. He was a lawyer for, close to 10 years and then took over that business. So it's always been, do corporate, mess somebody else's business up before you mess up the family's business. So really like it. As I said, probably a little sooner than I would have expected, but I'm happy today. It's been a hell of an experience. Haven't learned this much in 3.5 years ever in my lifetime. So blessed to be learning a lot, blessed to be having fun at work every day. And it's been a great experience.
The sneaker business, is that a brand that people would know?
It's retail stores, so just retail stores online carry exclusive sneakers from Nike, Adidas, Reebok, Asics, and all the big brands.
Right. And in actuality, the way we got connected is, I guess, your father-in-law, who you're in business with, has this long history of entrepreneurial. Way back when I was early in my catalog career, he was doing similar kinds of businesses.
Yep, he's been a legend in the space, and going back 40 years, D2C was called catalog businesses, and we're actually working on a catalog now for the holiday season, bring it back. He was winding down his career about 3.5 years ago when we started the business. He wasn't in retirement, but close to it, but brought him back, and he's full swing now with a bunch of young guns in the office, and we're having a blast.
That's great. That's great. So you got your start, as I mentioned, KPMG. You were in tax, I believe. I got my start at Touche Ross in audit. Foundational experience for you?
They say accounting is the language of business, right? I think I got that right. And so I studied accounting in college, and a lot of Jewish mothers, they want, their son to be a doctor, or a lawyer, or an accountant. So I picked the accounting route, and was lucky enough to joined KPMG after graduating in the tax department. And I don't use any of the tax skills today in business, because I was working on hedge funds, private equity funds, but was definitely taught how to work. The hours were long, so you had to have a really crazy work ethic. So learned, just how to work, which is, I think, a great skill. That was the first 2 years at KPMG, 2.5 years. And then I transferred to what they call the deal advisory department. Every month, every 2 months, you were on a new deal, looking at a new business, and you really got to understand the meat and potatoes of each business. So those skills that I learned in my latter 2.5 years at KPMG, I use every single day in my business. So blessed to have that opportunity. Really, really grateful. And KPMG was great.
It's you made a comment about accounting. Maybe it's because I rationalized because I was an accountant. I don't know how people can actually, be operating a business or even being part of a business without some financial acumen, whether it's accounting or other kind of finance. I've always believed that you never learn a business better than really through the P&L.
Yep.
So let's talk about Goat Foods. Goat, greatest of all time.
Yep. You bet.
Okay. Tell us the brands. And, we mentioned that at the top, killer domains. I have so many questions about that, but run us down the domains that you guys have today.
Okay, so I'll go in order of launch. So the first one was licorice.com. Then following that, pretzels.com, caramels.com, chocolate.com, taffy.com. A week or two after recording this, we'll be launching cupcakes.com. After that, we're going to be launching truffles.com. And after that will be cookies.com. So we'll have 8 before the end of 2024. And that leaves us with 2 left, which TBD when we're going to launch them, which is cashews.com and bagels.com. Each domain has their own story of how we had it or acquired it, because that's everybody's next question. So I'll read everybody's mind. Every domain has its own story. Some of them are pretty fascinating.
Pick one just to guide us. Which one is the most fascinating to you?
Obviously the big behemoth in the whole group is chocolate.com. Chocolate.com, we got approached in the middle of 2023. The person holding on to the domain was looking to sell it, and we just, made a name for ourselves in this industry, that we were the guys that liked one word food domains. And somebody just cold outreached us and said, I got this chocolate.com one. And we obviously freaked out when we saw that email. Through some negotiations, we got it. And obviously, probably candy.com and chocolate.com are a go rival between the two big ones. And we knew what candy.com sold for, and we knew what we were paying for chocolate, and we were happy with the deal.
That's awesome. We mentioned you're based in Florida. Is that where the business ships product from?
We ship most of our product out of Florida. We have an in-person team from marketing, finance, inventory, customer service, operations, creative, all based in Florida as well.
And is the business only being done on your own D2C sites, or are you also doing Amazon and other marketplaces?
Yep, we have an Amazon presence, building some other presence so far. We're launching on Costco.com later this year, so we are doing that as well.
What's your your sense, and I don't know how far along you are in Amazon versus your D2C business. Do you find that, one of the reasons why many retailers, maybe not as many anymore, didn't want to be on Amazon is they felt that they were being cannibalizing their D2C business. Do you find that the customers are different? Do you find that ad dollars that you spend in one channel has a halo effect in the other? What do you guys experience?
Your first question is hard to answer because we don't even have that data, right? So it's like, I don't know, fingers crossed that it's not cannibalizing it too much. The one thing that I can say is we try to spend minimal dollars on Amazon. And the reason for that is we're going to do our advertising just, anywhere out there. We feel that the Amazon platform is there for demand capture. I see a TV commercial for licorice.com. I'm an Amazon guy. I just get everything on Amazon. I'm never doing anything else. It's great, service for delivery. It's so easy to check out. I'm an Amazon guy. So for that person, it makes sense to be on Amazon. Why not? Serve the customer where they're at. So that's what I feel. And we're not spending significant dollars on Amazon advertising because we just don't feel like we're going to get a really net new eyeballs on our product. It's there for demand capture.
When you think about the channels where you are spending your marketing dollars for D2C, where are you playing at the moment?
Yep. So we're doing the traditional stuff like Meta, TikTok, Google, and then we obviously have our email and SMS dialed in as well. So I call that like the traditional D2C playbook. I think where we get a little bit untraditional is we do TV advertising. That has helped the business tremendously. And we're in a unique position because it's just such a simple message and we could get it over, in 15 seconds. And so that's one untraditional route that we go down in terms of marketing. And I think the second one is we're really getting into print in a big way. Don't have any results on that yet, but feel confident in it. That's the big marketing spend channels.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about on this show, and because of my background starting in catalog, we had this, as digital became more prominent in 2000, late 90s and 2000, all these catalogers thinking that, paper was going to go away and all. And in fact, there's been this cottage industry that's come up of companies helping digitally native brands to, put paper back in the mail to help drive customers and brand awareness. So will you use paper to prospect, or is it more of a retention play for you?
About half our budget will go to prospecting, half our budget will go to remarketing.
How do you think about the brands? Maybe explain for the listeners. You've got these different domains. Do you sell only licorice on licorice.com, or is there cross pollination going on?
We'll take licorice.com as an example here. We do stay true to only selling licorice on licorice.com. Yes, we have a tab on there that says meet our other family of brands, and we'll have select SKUs from the other brands that you can, or through the checkout process, we'll upsell you on a taffy tube or a caramels tube or whatever it is. Because the customer wants that. If they might be like, oh, licorice.com, let me get, 4 tubes of licorice or whatever it is. And then they see, oh, these guys have caramels.com as well. I love caramels. Let me try that. Let me try it. If I like it, I'll go get, their whole selection from caramel. So we just think it's great for the customer. It's great for a customer experience just to get a little bit of variety in their package. And then it's obviously also great for the brands to be introduced to new customers.
This episode is sponsored by Shopware, the e commerce platform built for the mid market. For over 20 years, we've been empowering more than 50,000 merchants to grow with flexible, scalable solutions. As mid market brands, you face the same complexities as enterprises, but without the hefty budgets. Shopware bridges that gap, offering powerful, customizable features at an affordable price so you can focus on growth without compromise. Learn more at shopware.com. Are you far enough along in the roadmap of your business to understand which of the domains are most efficient to acquire new customers, to where you can now take that new customer and shift them to other product categories?
We are, but I believe that the data is flawed. I won't get into it too much, and the reason why the data is flawed is because it's just not fair. Because licorice.com has been around, 3x longer than taffy.com. So the licorice.com customer, licorice.com is more out there in the ether than taffy.com. And I really don't want to get into the whole attribution world.
No, we don't talk about the A word on this
Yeah,
show, okay?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't want to talk about that. So that's why I think it's flawed. Because I could just somebody could be talking in Starbucks about licorice.com and the guy in the back of him, oh, now I heard about licorice.com. So it's flawed. If all the brands would have started at the same exact time, first of all, it would have been a miracle to pull that off. Second of all, it's just not true. And that's maybe how you would be able to measure this, but that's the reason for it's flawed. A little bit of a technical answer.
Yeah, that's okay. But it's a good segue into metrics and measurement. There's so many numbers, and I was kidding. We don't really talk about attribution here, not because it's not important, but because it's everybody's got a different opinion of how to attribute sales to a marketing channel. But as you think about, and we have got a lot of people that listen to this show that are of they're senior in their career. There's a lot of earlier stage people. So in a business like yours, what are the key metrics beyond the P&L, but what are the key metrics that you're focused on each day in your dashboard to know whether you're being successful and meeting your targets?
When we start from a marketing, let's start top down. Top, we call internally MER, right? So that's just net revenue divided by your whole marketing spend for the day. That's our first number that we look at in the beginning of the day for the prior day. So that's very much top level. And then we drill in a little bit more. Okay, what is our NCPA, NCROA? So all new customer revenue, all new customers divided by your marketing spend for the day. How much returning revenue did we have for the day before? Is that what we forecasted? Are we on trend to meet this month's target? Do we have to adjust a little bit? What's going on there? So those are like, three or four big metrics that we always look at. And then I don't dig in every day. My media buying team digs in every day. Okay, so what is Facebook saying? What's TikTok saying? What's Google saying? What are our third-party attribution tools saying? What's TV saying? So they dig in. Sometimes I dig in with them, and then you could go even further. What's this piece of creative doing, and all that. So it gets a little nauseating, and I think the further you get in, it gets even more confusing, and then you're not looking at anything substantial. That's what we do daily, probably even a couple times a day. But my big thing is like just use some common sense. It's a little bit of a slippery slope, but use some common sense also. Like, hey, I started this marketing, a big marketing initiative. I took a big swing. Let's call it. I just launched TikTok, right? I wasn't doing TikTok before. Now I all of a sudden launched TikTok this week. Oh, everything's just trending positive. TikTok is doing something. It's probably not, Meta is outperforming this week over last week. So just sometimes using common sense. That's from the marketing side, and then we fulfill ourselves. We fulfill the orders ourselves, which is a whole operation side of the business that we deal with daily, from shipping costs, from a cost per order fulfillment, how much is it costing to get an order out the door. So there's metrics there that we fight every day on to lower it. We just signed a big deal with one of the carriers to lower our rates, which was tremendous. It's like sometimes focusing on that and sometimes focusing on that and maybe not focusing on this piece of creative or that piece of creative. You just could get so much more value out of the operation stuff than you will trying to get NCPA 3% better. Long-winded answer. It's a tough battle out there, but
Yeah.
it's rewarding.
No, I think those are good points, and I think people also, depending upon their core competency or their bent or their interest level, if you're a marketing guy, you're focused on, the marketing, but the operations really make a difference, not only from the economics you pointed out, but perhaps in rebuy rate, right? If customer, doesn't get their order in the time that you told them, or it gets lost, and now that creates a ticket in customer service, that presents a whole other litany of issues. Let's just go back to marketing for a second. You talked about the different areas that you play in. Because of your domain names, does that help you or hurt you, do you think, in cutting through the clutter? Because you're so generic in some respects, but also very targeted in other respects.
It is super, super, super valuable. We don't even know the value of it, to be honest. I mean, we say there's three stools to the value of having a domain. Recall, if a customer sees or a prospect sees an ad in June or July, the recall is so easy for any time of the year, and especially towards the end of the year when everybody needs a gift. That's a big aspect of it. Respect. We have respect from the customer because, hey, if these guys have licorice.com, they must know what they're talking about, or any of the domains, chocolate.com, whatever it is. The third one is search. Without any SEO work or anything, we're, very high on the list for any search results. So those are three things that we feel like where the value of the domain comes in.
Cool. I noticed in recent press release, you guys raised some money recently. Can you talk about that?
We went out there a little bit to see what's out there, got introduced to Lago Innovations and met them, had a great, great conversations, and they understood the business, they understood this whole strategy of having different domains, cross-selling it. Wasn't too much negotiation went down and was able to get the deal done pretty fast, smooth, and they've been a great partner ever since.
It's interesting, you talk about the fact that it wasn't all that difficult. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what I think I just heard. And when I talk to early stage companies, when I ask them, geez, what's been the most difficult thing for you to do, or what was harder than you thought it was going to be? Raising money always seems to be at the top of the list.
It's not easy. Even I would say, I'm sorry if I said it was easy, but we just had to. I mean, there was groups that we also spoken to, and it was not easy. Just happened to have got introduced to the right people, and with them it was easy. With the other guys, especially in this economy, with the consumer the way it is, with interest rates or the way it is, it's just a tough market.
Got it. What about the supply chain? Where are you sourcing product from? Are you manufacturing any product on your own?
Everything's co-manufactured. That's how we set up the business. One thing that I left out of having the domains is respect from the co-manufacturers. These top co-manufacturers are busy. They don't have too much capacity, especially the top guys. One quick story that I like to tell: when we were launching caramels.com, there was one guy that made great caramels, called him up and said, "Hey, I'm caramels.com, want to come out, meet you guys, see if we could work together." Verbatim, he said, "We are at capacity. I am not accepting any new clients. I know licorice.com, I know pretzels.com, and damn, you have caramels.com. They're out west. I'm east." So he said, "Come out west. We got to meet." And now we use them as a supplier, and they've been great to us. So, also having this domain, having the domains, you get a lot of respect from Gomans.
That's a good story. I imagine that Halloween must be a really cool holiday in your office and with your kids.
In the office, it's good, and yeah, it's a fun time.
Talk about a little bit of the tech that helps to support all these domains. Do are you outsourcing tech? Are you doing it all internally? Sites or Shopify, if is that correct?
Yep, Shopify. I don't think any of this could be built, or any of this ecosystem could have been built or exploded the way it has without Shopify. It is the backbone to all this stuff. and stuff that we get done in a matter of minutes. And this is coming from my partner, who I said earlier was been around for a lot of years, have has taken him a lot of money, a lot of time, and 50-50 it works or not. Stuff that I even could do today, and I'm having no technical, no development background, just being in the theme customizer, very easy to do. So obviously everything is the backbone to Shopify. We use Klaviyo for our retention efforts. They've been great. And then some of the bigger Shopify apps that we like to have with all our stores, Rebuy is a big one that has been awesome. Intelligems for A/B testing, that's one of the newer ones, has been great. And we use Toki for our loyalty program and rewards. And we try to keep it a little bit lean. We use Triple Whale for a lot of our dashboards and our tracking attribution. Those are the big ones.
How do you think about the customers? Are you maintaining all of your customer data within Shopify and mining it from there? Are you using a customer data platform in any way? Are you thinking about that?
It's a 2025 initiative. Right now, it's spread out in the siloed brands, but it's a big initiative for us. We started working on it with an outside vendor, and it's a big initiative for 2025.
Okay, sounds good. I was smiling when you started talking about, Shopify. When I got my start in digital, you not only were a retailer, but you needed to be a technologist as well. And, with the advent of the Shopifys and big commerces and Magentos of the world, it really took that out. You were able to be a marketer and a retailer and creative, and didn't, you still have to focus on technology, but not nearly to the degree that your father-in-law had to when he was starting or when I was starting. Leading retail brands are seeing 3-year customer retention rates that average 59%, while the industry average is only 22%. What makes the difference? It's a philosophy and framework called customer movement. Customer movement centers your strategy on customers rather than channels. It's the practice of understanding customer value and moving shoppers through the life cycle more often and more efficiently. From unknown visitors to known shoppers, from non buyers to new buyers, from one time buyers to repeat, and re engaging those who threaten to slip through the cracks. Bluecore is the retail marketing technology behind customer movement, working with more than 400 leading retailers and D2C brands such as Gap, Neiman Marcus, Carhartt, and Tapestry. Learn more about customer movement and how to create a more active, profitable customer base at bluecore.com. All right, we're down to the 2-minute drill here. 7 questions, 1 word answer. Are you ready, Jonathan?
Let's do it.
All right. A brand that you admire or that inspires you.
Probably Lululemon,
Favorite app on your phone.
the phone app.
Okay.
Don't like texting, rather just somebody call me and all that.
Okay. What generation are you from that you don't like texting? Wow.
Just gets too much clutter.
The last website other than Amazon that you shopped from.
Probably Aloe Yoga. Yeah, Aloe Yoga.
Okay. So you're an Aloe and a Lulu guy. Something that you're not good at, but wish that you were.
Writing.
Charitable organization that you're passionate about.
Our family is very involved in a orphanage in Israel. 250 kids, orphans that heavily involved with. My wife actually runs their American operations, and it's just an awesome place. And the guy that runs it is just an awesome person.
Fantastic. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Probably reading minds,
Other than family, what's your most prized possession?
business.
Where can people reach out to you, Jonathan, on social media if they were interested in connecting?
LinkedIn is probably the best spot. I try to give it back. I did not know a lot about e-commerce in the beginning, or about Shopify, Facebook. I was just totally a newbie. Didn't work in the industry before, and I learned a lot and spent a lot of time with people in the space. 30-minute calls here and there, and that's how I really learned. So, if anybody listening is interested and wants to reach out, have any questions, or want some advice, I take it seriously to, allot X amount of hours to, I guess, mentor people.
That's great. Good stuff. Good show. Thank you for the information. Really enjoyed it, and we'll look out for the domains that are coming up soon. And folks, we recorded this early September of 2024, so seems like before holiday there'll be a few more domains to get your cookies and what have you. So, thanks a lot for the time, Jonathan.
Thanks, Mark.
That's it. Today's game ball goes to Jonathan Packer for coming on the marketing playbook. To me, today's 3 game winning marketing plays were as follows. Number 1, accounting is the language of business. That's a great comment from Jonathan. I've said many times before that the best way to learn about a company is through the P&L. So, regardless of what you do in your career, make sure that you have some foundational finance experience. You don't have to be an accountant to read a P&L, so take the time to understand the key terms and how this information can help drive business decisions. And number 2, in order to be successful in a business, you need to have that hook that will attract customers and partners. It's often all about the product, but in the case of Goat Foods, it's not only about great product and customer service, it's also about their ability to have leveraged the domain names. Jonathan spoke about the respect they get from customers because of the domains and the impact that these brand names have on search. So, what's your hook going to be? And number 3, as digital commerce has evolved, the ability to focus less on the tech and more on your core competencies, product development and marketing, has become ever more important. If you're in the digital space, leverage the best in class providers that are out in the market. Unless your business is so different than everyone else, it's best to try and use what's already been built. It'll be more stable and less costly than anything that you can likely build yourself. Thank you, Playbook marketers, for listening to another episode. If you want to check out more pages of the Marketing Playbook, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast spot and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, the devil is in the details.